So as you probably understood by the title, today I have a pretty embarrassing story to share with you. So I've actually been very embarrassed at this for the longest time, and it's actually just recently that I realized that it's actually quite funny, but it took me a few years to get over it. So I have always been riding horses and showing horses, and when you show in show jumping, like any equestrian discipline, really, English equestrian discipline, you show in white breeches. Like, breeches are the kind of pants that really stick to your skin, and they're kind of see-through, and they're always white. So when I was about 12, I was at the show, and I think this was around the time where I hadn't really gotten my period yet, so I had one day where I bled a little, and I figured that it probably wasn't anything. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't think I was thinking. At least I didn't understand what was going on. So we went to this show, and I think in the morning when we were leaving for this show, it was 2 hours away, so we had to drive with the horse. I realized that, oh, there was some blood there, oh crap. So I took toilet paper and put it in my pants, and I figured that this is going to be alright, no problem, no issue at all. So when you ride a horse, you sit in the saddle. So I guess you can imagine what happened. I was wearing white, tight, see-through breeches. I sat in a saddle, and I had gotten my first period without realizing it, because I don't know if I was young and stupid or what was going into my head, but I did not realize it. So I rode around and everything was fine, and I saw no problem in this. Why should there be any problems? I didn't know. And we went back to the barn, and I was in the stable with the horse, and I was taking care of the horse, and I noticed that people were looking kind of strange at me, but I didn't, just figured that, I don't know, that's what people do. So we continued our day, and when we got home, I went to the bathroom, I pulled down my pants, and guess what? They were just covered in blood, and I was just oh my gosh, what is happening to me? And I was oh, okay, I guess I got my period, but shit, man. And then I was oh my gosh, I hope I didn't get it at the show, I hope it didn't bleed through at the show, when I was riding, so that people would have seen it. But I figured, no, probably not, because no one saw, no one said anything. I guess they would have said something if it happened. And then I came home, I sat down with my computer, and I was looking through the photos from this show. And guess what I saw on the photos of me riding my round, which was 5 hours before I discovered that this even happened? Oh yeah, there was this beautiful little red stain just between my legs. So when you follow the horse over the fence, you sit up, so the people behind you have straight inside to right where I did not want them to see. So I guess you can all imagine how I felt about that. And I understood why the people at my barn were staring really at me, because I would have done the same. But I felt I was 12 years old. I've always been really, really shy, especially when I was younger. So I felt oh my gosh, everyone will remember this to the day I die. What am I supposed to do? I should just quit riding. I can never go back at a show again, because everyone must have seen it and noticed it, and they will forever remember it. Yeah, that was basically what I thought. So I guess you can all imagine how I felt about that. It was super embarrassing, and no one said anything to me. People obviously noticed it, and they didn't say anything. They probably just felt sorry for me because I was so young, and then I obviously didn't notice it myself, because then I wouldn't have walked around like that. But I don't think there could have been a worse way of getting your first period. Just that one day when I was going to the show, when I was wearing white breeches, when I was sitting in a saddle, and I was around hundreds of people, and no one said anything to me. Can you imagine how that felt? That felt absolutely horrible, if you cannot imagine that. So I don't think there could have been a worse timing, and I have been embarrassed about this for years. I have never told anyone. I've just figured that everyone will remember it anyway, so I don't need to tell them. But it came back to me recently, and I was okay, it's actually not that bad. Like, it was that bad when it happened, but now it's quite a funny story. And I suppose I'm not the only one who's had that happen to me, but like, it was my first period. I was 12. I didn't expect this. I didn't understand this, and it was just bad. So that was my very embarrassing first period story. So if you have a similar story, feel free to share it below. I hope none of you has a similar story, but I suppose some of you will. And I'm sorry to everyone who had to go through that. If you went through that recently and feel like you'll never get over it, you will get over it, but it might take a few years. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my very embarrassing story. So please let me know below if you liked it or or if anything similar happened to you, and feel free to come with video suggestions of what you want to see on this channel. So thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in my next video. Bye!